And a good Tuesday afternoon, everybody. I am 10 TV Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz. Another beautiful day. When I mean beautiful, after the fog this morning, it turned out perfect. But we are going to track some changes in both temperature and the chance for some showers and storms that will impact your weekend plans. Even more of a reason to get out and enjoy the rest of this Tuesday. Did I say it's perfect? Because it is. We are looking at those changes, though, coming up in the second half of the week. I'm going to break it down for you hour by hour with latest models, but just put a pin in this. Getting into your Saturday and possibly Sunday, rain and storms are likely. We're going to break it down for you with the models going hour by hour, but no, right now, even though it's Tuesday afternoon, I fully expect this forecast to change in a couple of ways. We'll talk about that in the next several minutes. You need to be ready. It's been a while since we had substantial rain, but you know as well as I do, the first rainfall after a hiatus of a week or two can be a little bit tricky, especially if it's around your weekend plans. So just keep that in mind and make those plans flexible if you can. Now, we are tracking a pleasant finish to the day today, or afternoon, I should say. Early this morning, a little rough. I was driving around 33 and 270. Visibility was down to about a quarter of a mile. Traffic seemed to be moving just fine, and that visibility actually improved as I got closer to downtown. Now, if you're out this afternoon, you will see some of that moisture kind of lifting or reimagining itself in the form of some clouds. The fog from the ground went up to the clouds, so we're seeing more sunshine than clouds, but it's still a very pleasant finish to the day. Temperature running just shy of 70. We've got a breeze at about 7 miles an hour. The breeze about half of what it was yesterday, and that is just fine. I do expect the skies will gradually clear out as we go through the rest of the afternoon and through the evening, making for, again, a very pleasant finish. That sunset, though, getting earlier and earlier. So you have a limited time, especially getting off work or school later on today, probably a 3 or 4 hour window, and it's going to be another picture-perfect watercolor sunset. Now, out and about tomorrow, maybe you and thousands of your friends are looking for something to do. It is the first day of the Circleville Pumpkin Show, the greatest pumpkin show on earth. 9 o'clock in the morning, rather comfortable. We will see cloudy skies continue. And temperatures on Wednesday, even south in Circleville and Pickaway County, are going to be a notch cooler than today. There is about a 2% chance of a shower, so we're just going to kind of push that aside. I would not plan for or worry about any rain on Wednesday. Maybe a drop or two, that's it. But temperatures, again, a little cooler than today. So if you're out and about on this Tuesday, wondering how you should dress for tomorrow, probably a light layer, a good idea. You'll need that in the morning. You probably won't need it later in the day as temperatures get back to near room temperature, mid to upper 60s. Now, once we get past that, then we're talking about and tracking some of those changes that we mentioned. The chance of rain and possibly some storms, if I could put it 2% on Wednesday, I would. We kind of keep it at even 10% increments. Very low tomorrow, 0 Thursday, Friday looking good, Saturday 30% and Sunday 70. So we talked yesterday about that roller coaster continuing to ramp up. It's looking now like Sunday will be the wetter of the 2 days, and as you'll see in a minute, it looks like Saturday might be salvageable for your plans and might have a little touch of summer coming back. The other thing in between before we get to that weekend, or if you consider Friday as your weekend, and you should, it will be 9-0. The 10 Impact Weather Team and every other football game in Central Ohio Friday, 9-0, meaning that while we've seen a little bit of heat, a little bit of humidity, a little bit of wind, a little bit of cloud cover, looking for a perfect night. We're undefeated in the weather department heading into this Friday night once again. Warming up, temperatures making your way toward the stadium, and some folks tailgating mid to upper 60s. Not bad at all. Kickoff will be 66 degrees. Remember that sun setting before 7 o'clock now. Halftime and final score temperatures down through the 60s and 50s. So if you waited, needed to have that new spirit wear from the school in your team colors, long sleeve sweatshirts or jackets, this is your chance to wear them and be rather comfortable in the second half of the game. Now let's get into the weekend, especially Saturday to Sunday. This is some new model information, but I want to walk you through it hour by hour to pick out a couple of key times. Saturday, before the sun even comes up, the rain is moving on through. That is perfectly fine. 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, maybe a smattering of a shower, that would be about it. Lunchtime Saturday, we'll keep some clouds around, but most of the showers will be gone. Second half of your Saturday till about 5 o'clock, looking pretty good. See a pop-up shower around Dayton, around Cincinnati, but a much larger area of green waiting in the wings. As we go hour by hour through your Saturday night into Sunday morning, watch as this big slug of rain moves in, and a chance of some thunderstorms too. Not expecting widespread severe weather or strong storms, but know that mid-October, a little bit unusual, and it might be happening early in the day on Sunday. Sunday lunchtime does not look good. I'm just going to tell it like it is. The entire state painted in green. Now, it's not likely this will be the end result, but just showing that everybody, north, south, east, and west, stands a chance of getting some rain on Sunday, and some needed rain, I might add, but could work a little bit on the timing. Once that area of rain moves on through, we're almost through the day on Sunday. So on and off showers, especially front loaded in the first half of the day on Sunday, a couple of leftovers lingering into the afternoon and evening, and then we get into Sunday evening and Sunday night and things begin to improve and then cool down and dry out. The other thing that's changing for the better, and I've just showed you the weekend forecast, if you have an opportunity and you want to check out some of those colors, you probably should get out on Saturday, not just because many locations are getting into the moderate color, especially around Indian Lake, around Bell Fountain, around Mohican, Salt Fork, Dillon, and down toward the Hocking Hills. But if we get some pretty significant wind Saturday into Sunday, which is not out of the question, that might pull some of those leaves down a little prematurely. So it's obviously not going to take all the leaves off of the trees, but if you want to hit that window of some moderate or getting closer to peak color, then this is your chance to do that on Saturday, not on Sunday. Keep that in mind. 10 weather impact 7-day forecast talking about some roller coaster temperatures, at least a quick ramp up and a quick ramp down. 67s both Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday because we'll have more clouds. Thursday because we're starting off cool. Friday we're going to span almost 30 degrees from around 40 in the morning to around 70 in the afternoon and evening. You saw how Friday is looking perfect for first and 10 forecast. And then we're going to bounce that temperature all the way up to 80 degrees for one day. That's what we're talking about, that little summer lake feel. Have a shower chance in the morning, a much greater chance of showers and some storms Saturday evening and Saturday night. I'm thinking right now the bulk of your Saturday during the day is dry. Sunday morning, not so much. Temperatures will be cool and breezy and cloudy and damp with the rain showers moving in. But next Monday and Tuesday, we'll be bouncing back where we should be this time of the year, mid-40s in the morning and mid-60s in the afternoon. So keep that in mind as you're making your plans. One thing to keep in mind is that as we get closer to the weekend, you know, we talk about computer models and projections, a lot of the tools that we use here in the 10 TV Weather Center. It's one thing to have a long look out 4 or 5 or 6 days, and you'll notice as the days get closer that our model resolution gets a lot better, meaning that as we get closer to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we'll have a much clearer idea, and we're going to share that with you as frequently as we can as those models get a little more fine-tuned heading into the weekend. Now, one other thing that we talked about this week and was a real news headline coming up was a nor'easter that affected many cities and towns along the East Coast over the past few days. That includes right along the Carolina coast. Cammie Smelzer with our sister station in Wilmington, North Carolina, reports.
These sandbags are no match for the waves pounding and washing up on oceanfront porches in North Topsail Beach.
Very scary. It's very scary.
Water built up underneath homes and crept its way onto roadways. Topsail Beach resident Jeff Wells says history is repeating itself as the area takes on another assault from this nor'easter.
The erosion's gotten so close. I mean, these buildings are starting to get unstable. It's scary. I mean, these communities do the best they can to protect it.
Wells claims the residents have paid for sandbags to protect the 240-unit complex. A similar pursuit just south of here. Earlier this week, residents received an exemption to hire their own bulldozer to beef up a washed-up walkway. But Wells says the area needs a terminal groin to stop the onslaught from the sea, but it's caught up in red tape.
Typical. I mean, it's not a major tropical storm. It's not a hurricane, like I said. I mean, imagine if it was a Category 2 or, even 3. Forget a Category 4. I mean, it'd be devastating. I mean, most of these complexes would be washed away.
Further down the coast, hazardous conditions have led to the closure of several access points at Wrightsville Beach. In Wrightsville Beach, Cammie Smelzer.
Some devastating news there, and unfortunately they're kind of getting into nor'easter season across the mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, so we'll hear more about that as we get through the fall and winter months. And as we're talking about this big storm, a nor'easter, what exactly is a nor'easter? The definition may be different than what you think. Our 10 TV meteorologist Aaron White explains.
So we've been watching that big storm off the coast of the Atlantic, and what is a nor'easter? What is this storm system and where does that name come from? Well, it actually has to do with the position of the storm system, and the wind direction is actually what gives it that name. So you have winds out in the northeast around Boston, New York City, Philadelphia. So northeast, nor'easter, that's where the name comes from. And these are big coastal storms that can do a lot of problems. They can cause a lot of issues in terms of rain, wind, and coastal flooding that's what's happening across the mid-Atlantic states today. But these storms also in the wintertime, where they're more commonplace, actually can bring a lot of heavy snowfall. So we're seeing the rain with this storm system, but as we get into the winter months, those storms, these nor'easters, can actually really cause a lot of problems with heavy snowfall across the northeastern states. And depending on where that low tracks, if that low is further off the coast, this can bring heavy snowfall into the big cities, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and even into Boston. But that's not happening this time around. But we are seeing that coastal flooding. You can see that spin right in there over the last 24 hours, pushing all that heavy rain into areas around Boston, down to New York City, and even into Philadelphia. But we're also seeing that coastal flooding. Thankfully, though, we're on the tail end of the storm. Eventually, the storm system is going to be moving out to sea, and improving conditions are expected across the Northeast.
Thanks a lot, Aaron. So that might just win you a bet in a bar sometime, is why a nor'easter is called a nor'easter. It's because of the direction of the wind impacting the coast is out of the northeast, a brutal northeast wind. Thanks again, Aaron. Now, switching all the way over to the west coast, people living in certain parts of California are already shoveling snow. Look at this mid-October snowfall in the Sierra Mountain Range. It was just enough for a snowball fight and to catch some drivers off guard.
It's great. I love it. It's a very winter wonderland for the fall time of year, so it's cool.
It's fun to play in it, but it's cold.
Hope it keeps up. Hope winter keeps doing its thing.
The snow was sticking to the ground in some spots, but the heat and the pavement led much of the snow on the roads to melt quickly, which was great, but just a hint of what's to come. Speaking of winter, which is not that far away, here in Ohio, ODOT is gearing up for snow and ice season. Our state has a team of 3,000 drivers. About 500 of those are seasonal workers. Altogether, they do upkeep on more than 43,000 miles of roads across Ohio. Right now, we've got more than 800,000 tons of salt ready to go. Now, we are in a La Nina winter. We're going to have our winter forecast coming up in a couple of months, but generally speaking, a La Nina winter has somewhat milder temperatures, but also leads sometimes to a bit more snow. Stay tuned. Now, shifting gears to some climate talk, an alarming new report shows the Earth has reached its climate tipping point. That means the widespread death of coral reefs. Coral reefs are essential habitat for marine species. They're vital for food security, a buffer of coastal areas from storms and hurricanes, and they contribute heavily to the global economy. But now, as oceans reach record high temperatures, 80% of the world's reefs have been affected for the worse by the bleaching event on record. The report was put together by 160 scientists worldwide. They say the death of coral reefs is just the first of several potentially irreversible climate tipping points, and even bigger impacts on the horizon if those temperatures continue to rise. That report just comes a month before the global leaders, environment leaders, gather in Brazil for COP30. This is the annual United Nations Climate Conference. This year's meeting comes with extra importance as countries are supposed to set their goals for bringing down emissions over the next decade. Now, happening tomorrow, it's the start of the Circleville Pumpkin Show. Can't wait. The opening ceremony set for 9 a.m., but the giant pumpkin weigh-in is at 8 o'clock. On your screen are pictures of the largest pumpkins at last year's event. And get this, the winner weighed in at over a ton. 2,226 pounds of pumpkin-y goodness. There's tons of other activities too, like Little Miss Pumpkin Show Parade. The Circleville Pumpkin Show runs tomorrow, Wednesday through Saturday this week. Finally today, let's check out some new video into us here at 10 TV. That nor'easter brought heavy rain, winds, and coastal flooding to the Northeast. This was viewed on Monday from Sea Isle, New Jersey, where the storm was causing some streets to flood. National Weather Service had mentioned concerns for moderate flooding that coincided with their high tide. Also, check out this video. A portion of Colorado Highway 133 was temporarily closed after multiple mudslides reported on Sunday. Officials ordered the closure between Colorado municipalities of Carbondale and Redstone Historic District. Crews needed roughly 3 hours to clear that roadway and reopen both lanes. And one last thing before we go. On October 14th, this date in 1947, Chuck Yeager. Then a 24-year-old captain pushed an orange bullet-shaped Bell X-1 rocket plane past the 660-mile-an-hour mark. That's the sound barrier, ladies and gentlemen, becoming the first pilot, first human to break the sound barrier. Monumental Day, October 14th, 1947. That is it for your weather update here on 10 TV Plus. Coming up later tonight, I'll be back with a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. Until then, you can catch more news and weather and sports online at 10tv.com. Have a great afternoon and enjoy the rest of the day.